Hari Om, dear student. Let us start the second part of the tsunami. In the previous part, we have discussed about the different experiences of the people who had faced tsunami in their real life and how they have survived themselves and also helped other people like Ignatius, Sanjeev, Meghna and Alma, isn't it? So Ignatius, he could save himself and as well as other three kids, but he couldn't save his own family. And coming to Sanjay, he had saved his family, but he couldn't save himself. And Meghna, she has lost all her family, but she was survived by holding a wooden door on the sea, and she stayed there for a couple of days. And coming to Alma's, all her family including father, grandfather, mother, aunt who had come to this place to celebrate Christmas have been swept away in tsunami. Only she could save herself by holding to a wooden log. So these were the different experiences of the people which we have discussed in the earlier part. And now we are going to discuss about the experience of a girl by name Tilly Smith, who had saved herself and her family and also more than 1,000 people. Okay, now let us start this part. Now let us discuss about Tilly Smith. Here you can see the picture of Tilly Smith. It's a real picture and she is from a British schoolgirl and of 10 years age, and she could able to save many lives when tsunami was struck to Thailand, because at that time she was in Putak beach of Thailand and she went there to celebrate Christmas along with her family. And for saving herself and as well as her family and many lives, she was awarded with a number of awards, you can see here. And also, she was asked to give many interviews, but her parents didn't allow her to be interviewed on the television. That means they didn't allow her to give any interview to any television or TV channels and make herself as a heroine. There might be different reasons for that, but now we will look into the detailed story of Tilly Smith, what made herself to identify tsunami and save herself and as well as her family and many lives. Here is a story from Thailand. In the previous part, we have discussed different stories from Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Now we are discussing about the stories from Thailand and about Tilly Smith. So this Smith's family or Tilly Smith family, they are from Southeast England. So they are from England and they came to Thailand to celebrate Christmas, and they stayed at beach resort in southern Thailand. So you have understood the scenario, children. The Tilly Smith's family, they have come from England and they have come here in the sense here Thailand. They have come to Thailand to celebrate Christmas and they have stayed in a beach resort. Hope you have understood the beginning of the story. So Smith's family, they have come here to celebrate Christmas. Okay. And Tilly Smith, she was a 10-year-old school-going girl, just like you people. So she's just for 10 years and she's going to school and she came there to celebrate Christmas, and she's also having a sister who is of 7 years old. So Tilly Smith is of a Tilly Smith is of a 10 years girl and her sister is of a 7 years old. And their parents were Penny and Colin Smith. Penny and Colin Smith were parents of Tilly Smith, and that day we all clearly know what is the date of that day. It was 26th December 2004, because that day was a very terrible day to most of the coastal areas because they were struck by huge tsunami, isn't it? So here on that day, these deadly tsunami waves were already on their way. Okay, so they started moving, and a great or a massive earthquake was off on the northern Sumatra Islands. So on the northern side of Sumatran Islands, there was a huge or a massive in the sense a very huge earthquake had taken place and triggered in the sense here you can see caused. So because of this earthquake, tsunami waves are already on their way, and the water was swelling and kept coming on. You can see the water. In the beginning, the beach was cool and calm, but slowly the beach water, okay, the water, see, you can see the beach water was getting smaller and smaller. I don't know what was happening. So the water was still here previously, but slowly the water is going backwards. See here. So Penny could see that the water was coming back. It's going back, and she couldn't analyze what was happening. But in real, already in Sumatra Islands, in the northern Sumatra, there was a great earthquake. Because of that, tsunami waves were on their way. Hope you have understood, children. So Tilly Smith and their family had come to Thailand from England to celebrate Christmas, and they have stayed at a beach resort. Resort in the sense here, I have given you meaning. It's a place where people go on a holiday, and she was of a 10 years old and her sister was 7 years old, and her parents were Penny and Colin Smith. And on that day, when these tsunami waves are on their way, Penny is her mother. She could recognize that the water in the beach was going back and back. That means the water is becoming smaller and smaller, and she couldn't understand why was it happening. When Penny Smith said that the beach was becoming smaller and smaller, immediately Tilly Smith, she could sense that definitely something is going to be wrong, and all her thoughts have gone back to a geography lesson which she had heard just 2 weeks before coming to this Thailand along with her family. So just 2 weeks before coming here in the sense Thailand, she had heard a geography lesson. As soon as Penny Smith said that the beach is becoming smaller, immediately she started thinking about the geography lesson. So let us see what geography lesson taught Tilly Smith. Why now in this situation Tilly Smith is thinking about the geography lesson. So Tilly Smith, she started seeing the sea, and the sea was slowly rising, and it started forming, bubbling, and also forming the whirlpools. So you see here in the picture, you can see that the waves or the tides of the sea were becoming higher and higher, rise in the sense higher and higher, and also huge foams and whirlpools are formed. You can see the waves here, and even huge whirlpools are formed in the sea. And when she sing all these things, she could able to remember a video which she had seen in her geography class about the tsunami. Hope you have understood now, children. So why she had thought of a geography lesson? Because in that geography class she had seen a video of tsunami which hit Hawaiian Islands in 1946. So in the year of 1946, Hawaiian Islands were hit by tsunami, and the total video of that tsunami was shown to Tilly Smith and as well as her classmates in the geography class, in that lesson, especially by the geography teacher. So immediately the moment she had seen these foams or bubbles and as well as the whirlpools, immediately she came to conclusion that definitely tsunami is going to come. So see here, her geography teacher had shown her class the video and told them that tsunamis can be caused by the earthquakes, volcanoes and landslides. So immediately she started just recollecting what her geography teacher told. That her geography teacher said that these tsunamis were caused by the earthquakes and as well as volcanoes and landslides. So immediately she could analyze what is going to happen, and immediately she started screaming, like shouting in a lot of a fear or a terror, and she said that get off the beach. She started screaming at her own family. She started telling to her mother and father, please get off the beach, let us go out of the beach. And she talked about an earthquake under the sea, and she got more and more hysterical in the sense different kind of a feeling. It is not even a fear or a, what do we call a cry or a laugh. Just a shouting, laughing or crying is a different feeling where the child is totally in a confusion what is going to happen. So in that what do we call situations, she started shouting, let us go out of the beach, there is an earthquake under the sea. And she got more and more hysterical. And by seeing her mother Penny, she don't know actually what is tsunami. So here Penny Smith, she don't know what is tsunami and what is earthquake under the sea. But by seeing her own daughter who is so frightened, immediately they thought that something is going to be definitely serious and wrong. Okay. But they don't know what is going to happen. As this girl was so afraid and was so hysteric, immediately they thought that something is going to be wrong. Immediately, Tilly's parents took her and as well as her sister from the beach, because though they don't know what is going to happen and what is tsunami and what is earthquake under the sea, but by seeing the girl who was so frightened, immediately they moved off from the beach. And they have gone to a swimming pool which was nearby at the hotel. And by seeing this Tilly Smith's family who were moving apart from the beach, many of the other people also started moving. So a number of other tourists also left the beach, and it looked like as if the whole entire sea had come out after them. That means most of the people started coming along with this Tilly's family, and she started screaming in the sense shouting, run, come on, save ourselves. In that way, Tilly started shouting. Somehow all of them, Tilly's family and many of the other tourists, they have taken refuge in the third floor of the hotel. Here refuge in the sense, children, what do we say, protection. See, I have given you here the meaning, shelter or protection from the danger. So the Tilly Smith's family and as well as the other tourists, they have taken the refuge in the third floor of the hotel, and the building could withstood the surge of 3 tsunami waves. So the 3 tsunami waves could hit this building. So 3 tsunami waves struck the building, but the building was so strong that it could withstood in the sense endure without collapsing. So when the tsunami waves hit the building didn't collapse, and it had withstood that force of the tsunami waves. And somehow after these 3 tsunami waves which had had forced on this building, finally after that this Tilly Smith's family and many other tourists who had followed them were finally saved. And if they had stayed on the beach, definitely they would not have been alive. So finally, when they had taken the shelter in this hotel's third floor, somehow Tilly Smith's family and as well as the other tourists were saved. But if they were in the beach itself, definitely they would have been just gone away in this, or swept away in these huge waves of tsunami, and they wouldn't have been even alive now. And the Smiths family later met all the tourists who had lost their entire families in the Thailand. So after tsunami, they just came back to the beach and met different families who different people who have lost their families, and started consoling them. And most of the tourists, they said thanks to Tilly and as well as her geography lesson, because of that they have saved their lives, isn't it? Because that lesson itself have forewarned in the sense warned in earlier that something is going to be wrong. So in that way all the tourists said thanks to Tilly and as well as the Tilly's geography lesson. And Tilly, after all this, she went back to her school in England and told her classmates about this terrifying tale. So in this way, Tilly had saved her life and as well as the many other people, like nearly 1,000 or more than even 1,000. And she became a very brave girl of that place at that time. Hope you have understood this, children, that about Tilly. She came from she came from England to Thailand to celebrate Christmas. And after the day of Christmas, that is on 26th December 2004, Penny is mother of Tilly. She could see that the beach was becoming smaller and smaller. Immediately, Tilly could sense that something is going to be wrong, and immediately she had gone back to her geography lesson, which she had learned just 2 weeks earlier. And she started seeing the sea, which was rising high and forming a foam and as well as the bubbles and even huge whirlpools. And immediately she started screaming that tsunami is going to come, because she had learned in her geography lesson that tsunamis are created by the earthquakes or volcanoes or landslides under the sea. And she had even seen the same video. Now she is seeing that sea, there is a huge whirlpools and even a lot of bubbles or foams are formed on the sea. The same thing she had seen in a video in her classroom, like in which in the year of 1994 or something, Hawaiian Islands were hit by this tsunami. So she had seen that video, and immediately she could analyze that the same tsunami is going to come now, and she started screaming. And her parents, though they don't know what is going to happen, by seeing the daughter, they have taken her and her sister off the beach, and they have gone to the nearby hotel, and they have stayed in the third floor of the hotel. And the remaining tourists also, who have seen this Tilly's family, have followed them by believing that something is going to be definitely wrong, because they could also see the whirlpools of the sea, and all of them have stayed in the third floor there. And this hotel building was so strong that it could withstand the force of the tsunami waves. And finally they could save themselves. If they might have been in the beach itself, definitely they would not have been alive. So finally, by all this, she could after all this, she could save herself and as well as her family, and also many of the tourists. So in this way, her geography lesson saved herself and many other lives, and she have gone back to England and told about all this terrifying tale to her classmates. And now we are going to see a live interview of Tilly Smith after going back to England, how she had met her friends and how the things have gone. We are going to see from her own words, and even we'll be seeing Tilly Smith's geography teacher.
Because I had been taught it in the geography lesson, and it was the exact same froth, like you get on a beer. It was sort of sizzling.
Just 2 weeks earlier, Tilly's geography teacher, Andrew Carney, had taught them about the early warning signs for a tsunami and how important it is to act quickly.
From the time you suspect something's wrong, then it's crucial to get to higher ground and to get away from the seaside. Even if the water is not that high, the power of the waves could crush and drag you down and drag you away.
I said there's definitely going to be a tsunami, and my mum didn't believe me, she didn't react. And so she just kept on walking, and my dad sort of believed me, and Holly, my sister, was getting really scared, so she ran back to the pool. And then my dad went back with her. And then I said, right Mum, I'm definitely going. There is definitely going to be a tsunami. And she just, bye then. So I went back, and she was sort of reacting a bit more when I had gone. And so she went back to see if I was okay. And then the minute that she had come back, the water started coming up the beach.
The tsunami wreaked havoc across Asia, killing over 270,000 people and causing massive destruction to property. Large parts of Phuket were damaged, but with such simple but crucial information, Tilly managed to save the lives of all the people on her beach.
Well, I told my dad, and my dad told the security guards, and the security guards told the people on the beach, because there was quite a few families on the beach, just in the water.
Some reports claimed Tilly saved over 100 lives that day, but she says the real hero is her geography teacher, who saved her life and those of her family.
If it wasn't for Mr. Carney, then I'd probably be dead, and so would my family, so I'm quite proud that he's taught me that in the time, that it was.
The power of education.
Hope you have understood the Tilly Smith's words from her itself. Now let us see the comprehension check of this part. So the first question here is, why did Tilly Smith's family come to Thailand? They have come to Thailand to celebrate Christmas, isn't it, children? Yeah, so they have come from England to Thailand to celebrate Christmas. Moving to the next question, what were the warning signs that both Tilly and her mother saw? So Tilly's mother, she had seen that the beach was becoming smaller and smaller. That is, water was moving back and back, and even Tilly could see some kind of a foam or bubbles, and even the tides were rising high, and even whirlpools were forming. So these were the warning signs what they have felt. Moving to the next question. Do you think Tilly's mother was alarmed by them? In the beginning, she was not alarmed, but by seeing Tilly, she thought that definitely something is going to be wrong, isn't it? Yeah, moving to the next question, children. Where had Tilly seen the sea behaving in the same strange fashion? So she had seen in the video which was shown to her by her geography teacher in geography lesson in her school. It is about the tsunami which had hit Hawaiian Islands. Okay, moving to the next question. Where did Smith's family and others on the beach go to escape from tsunami? So Tilly Smith's family and as well as the other tourists have gone to the hotel near the swimming pool. They have moved from the beach and they have gone to a swimming pool and its hotel, and they have stayed in the third floor of the hotel so that they can be saved from tsunami. How do you think her geography teacher felt when he heard about Tilly had done in Phuket? So he might have felt very happy and as well as proud, and also be very thankful to her for saving many lives. Hope you have understood this question and answers, children. Hope you have understood the total lesson, children. This is the second part of the tsunami, and in the next video we'll be having the third part of the tsunami. Hariyo, thank you.